Dude, I'm excited because what you just sent me is really interesting, Noah. This picture.
Oh yeah, yeah. That picture. You think that's interesting?
I sure do. I sure do. So, uh, let me actually pull this up on screen here because this was something that I initially noted. Oh God, it's doing the thing where it just downloads it. Hang on a second. I gotta be a goober here. One moment.
Oh
So,
boy.
my most recent video. Wait, was it my most recent videos? Have I uploaded? I don't know what I've posted. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now. Okay, yeah, no, it is my most recent video. Yay! I am very curious to hear what you guys thought of the 12 Macintosh video that we posted. Oh my god, I can't get this to open. I'm
Oh
gonna kill
no.
myself. Hang on. Maybe let me convert the image. I
I was
really
gonna
want to show
say,
everyone
yeah, you should.
because this is a breakthrough, Noah.
Yeah, I'm curious. So we'll show them, and I'm curious to hear what prompted you to ask me to take this picture.
Right. Yeah, that is also true because you're in the dark too. We've got this 10 minutes here. Oh, I got it. Okay, we're good. Some people pointed this out when I showed the video. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up the thumbnail too. Oh, this is so good. Hang on.
You're doing it all right now.
I'm doing it all. Where is the thing? Where's the thumbnail? Hello? Did I delete it? Am I stupid? Oh no.
While you're figuring that out, my mom says hi to both of us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
She has watched like every single one of these episodes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't fully understand why, but always
I couldn't
appreciate
tell
it.
you.
I know, but always appreciated.
Okay. I'm pulling up the video because there's something that people have
Whoa, wait.
but I edited it out so it didn't make it to the final cut cuz the video, I mean it's a long video. If you guys have watched it, which I hope you have. If not, you're a fake friend.
Oh,
Uh
I did watch it.
well, that's good.
I lived part
But
of it, but I did watch the whole thing.
you did live part of it. And in fact, you lived the part of it that I'm referencing. So you should have remembered this. I'm pulling up our video here. So, okay, we've got 7 minutes here to do some detective work. So here's the video. And
Hey, that's
if we
me.
get to my pile, after our tour of the main warehouse, we went into a side room with yet more vintage electronics. Okay, so we had
my pile, my beautiful
right on the
pile.
bottom there. Okay, here it is. So take a look at the computer on the left, the second to left in the bottom row.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing that confused me. And I there's a shot in here where I pulled it out because I was confused, but I edited it out because I wasn't really coherent. But we know that this listing included 2 Macintosh Pluses, but this one doesn't say Macintosh Plus on the front.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we skip ahead to about halfway
all
into
12
the video
of these
here,
machines, and I'll show you how they're operating.
these are the first 2 things, these 2 Macintosh Pluses. Now, here's an even closer look at it, and you can notice that the Apple logo is in a little square recessed area. Notice that the brightness knob also has a little squircle around it, and you'll notice that the keyboard and keyboard numpad are also recessed. So this front plate is not from a Macintosh Plus. And at the time, I had thought that it was just like some revision of the Macintosh Plus that I didn't know about. Because on the back of it, it does say Macintosh Plus. I don't know if I have a shot of that, but Noah, you confirmed that on the
Mhm.
back housing it says Macintosh Plus 1 megabyte.
Mm-hmm.
However, as we have now learned, if I share a different tab here, Noah has taken a picture of the underside of this Macintosh Plus. Now, this serial number is interesting because the way that these old vintage Macintosh serial numbers work, F is the factory, in this case Fremont. 7 is going to be the year, so that's 1987, and then 04 is going to be the week. So this would have been made in January 1987. Now that is not that odd because the Macintosh Plus the Macintosh Plus was already being made at that point. However, vintage Mac serial number decoder. I think this is the one. Does this look like the one that you use, Noah?
Yes.
Yeah, here it is. So look, this one has decoded all of that. 4th week, 1987 Fremont. It was the 7,973rd, but it's a Macintosh 512E, not a Macintosh Plus. And I am very intrigued by this because I had not even really been that aware of the Macintosh 512KE. It's the same as that is super interesting. So this would have been announced when the Macintosh Plus was already being produced, but they used the 500K disk drive that was introduced with the Macintosh Plus, but it's the 512K system on the inside. And I guess somewhere along the way, it was the back housing was replaced with a Macintosh Plus housing.
So your
That's
theory
really
right
interesting.
now, and we're not sure yet, right? But your theory is that the actual computer is the 512E, and the only
Yes.
part that isn't is that back housing, and they put a Macintosh Plus housing for some reason.
I believe that to be the case. The main reason being that it is very easy to swap the back housing, but it is not at all easy to swap the front case because that's what
Huh.
everything attaches to. It's essentially like the structure, like the CRT is screwed on to that. You have to fully disassemble everything to swap that. So I think that it makes much more sense for somebody to swap the back than the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even find one of these things on eBay. This is crazy. I have no idea how much it's worth. I don't think they're particularly rare, but I would hazard a guess that it's probably worth a little bit more than a regular. Wow, look, the only one that is for sale here is a KE with mouse and keyboard, $760. That
Huh.
is really interesting.
There's an interesting super chat as well that you should take a look at.
Apple actually offered upgrades to 112, 128, and 512 Macintosh owners, which allowed them to upgrade the same machine to a Macintosh Plus. Yeah, that is true. It's very unusual to find original Macintosh 128Ks because most of them were upgraded to 512s and then eventually to the Plus. And we're not actually going to be able to test this until actually I'm gonna be in California this weekend, so we can test it, Noah. I will bring some software discs. Oh crap! And I'm gonna have to bring the keyboard and mouse too.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's probably worth it. I have a feeling that that Macintosh is going to come back with me in my overhead compartment too.
I have a feeling as well, and you're welcome to it.
Well, you know, that's actually really good because I don't have a Macintosh 512. Well, I guess I do. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, no, you do.
So that is an interesting development. I'm very happy with this actually because I've always liked the 512. And yet another build of all of the original Macintoshes up through the Macintosh Classic. The video that I just shot basically gave me everything except the 128K. So that's all I need.
That's pretty good. That is actually really cool that like I guess maybe you had some suspicions about it, but I would have never known that it was something different. But hey, you know, it is.
This is so hype. All right. Should we start the podcast?
Yes, I just want to say before we start, there have been 2 times so far where your audio has like gone super wonky for like a few seconds.
Really?
Yeah. So
What?
it basically sounds like you went underwater or something, and it lasts for like a couple seconds, then it goes away. So I just want to let you know.
I'm gonna chalk that up to internet.
I think
I
it's
think
internet,
we'll
and
be
it
fine because I'll be on a QuickTime recording.
yeah. So the published version of the episode will be fine, but just for the people watching, we're aware, and we're not sure
Wait,
why
were
it's
people
happening.
commenting about it?
Yeah.
Oh no. Potato audio. Oh god. Well, let me just check that my connections are all good.
Okay. All right. We're you'd think we would have this figured out by now, but you know, something new
Contrary
happens
to
every
our
week.
intro, we are not technology experts.
Well, we haven't done the intro yet, so you know, it's okay.
That's true. Should we? Right now?
Yeah, I think we should.
I agree. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Welcome to Dark Mode, the podcast that brings you sage advice from 2 so-called technology experts. But that's not just what we call ourselves. It's what our moms tell people when WWDC might get announced in like any minute now, which they definitely talk about to their friends. I'm your host, Luke Miani.
And I'm your host, Noah Rubin. On this show, we take questions from listeners, attempt to answer them to varying degrees of success, and maybe even have a laugh or two along the way. Maybe a WWDC announcement or two. Probably only one, though. Let's be real.
Realistically, yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here in the chat. It's our friend.
Oh, we got what a random and disconnected thing that John is watching the stream.
Wow. Hi, John.
Hey John, what's up? What a guy. Should I send him an invite to the stream?
Yeah, we could say hi to John.
Oh wait,
if he
that's gonna be so
wants.
hard to edit.
Oh, that's true.
Is it your turn to edit? I'll make you do it.
All right. As long as he's here for like, if he's here for a short amount of time, then I guess I could make it work.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna send him a link.
All right. We'll see if we can get him here.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Let's let it cook for a little bit here. So let's jump in with something that I want to start by talking about today, and that is, well, I guess WWDC, right? That's the big thing, because
Yeah.
Mark Gurman just this past week was like, you know, hey, if they're gonna do it, now's the time you gotta do it. So like, when they're gonna do it, right?
Yeah, I know we were discussing this a little bit for other reasons about like when we think Apple is going to announce Dub, but it seems like in the past it's been around this time, right?
Yeah, I think last year it would have already been announced at this point. Like, I if I'm remembering correctly, the latest that it would be like the very, very beginning of April. So we should be staring down the barrel of WWDC invite literally any gosh dang minute here. Like, Tim Cook is ready. He's got his confetti cannon and he's priming it. He's loading up with gunpowder. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's been practicing his good morning every
Yeah.
day. He's just ready to say it as soon as the time is right.
He cannot wait for it to be such an amazing day. Because, like, normally when Tim Cook wakes up, this is something that not many people know, Noah. But, like, you know how in all of the intros to the events, he'll go like, "Wow, what an amazing day!"
Right.
Those are the only good days. Tim Cook is sad on every other day because there's no event that day. So most mornings he wakes up and he goes, "Aw, what a terrible day."
Oh, Tim.
And the Apple event day comes and he goes, "Wow, what an amazing day." And everyone's so happy for him.
I'm happy for him, but now I'm sad. Like, I don't like the vast majority of days he's sad. I don't like that.
Yeah, he's only happy one day per quarter, fiscal quarter.
Oh, well, aren't we all?
No, that's very fair. I think it's actually quite relatable. CEOs are just like us. And I think in many ways we are all Tim Cook.
That's very true.
Very true. Very profound. Let's take a moment to reflect upon this. Great moment. Great moment.
What an amazing moment.
Okay, so wow, what an amazing moment. Dude. Do we think, okay, let's just get it all out in the open, okay? Are we getting the M3 chip at WWDC? Do you think?
When was M2? Remind me when M2 happened.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with a W and it ends with an worldwide developer conference.
Oh, I'm still not sure. You're going to have to give me another hint.
Okay, so I'll give you a hint about the year.
Okay.
It starts with a 2 and it ends with a 022.
20,022?
No.
That far in the future?
It starts with a 2 and it ends with a 022.
Yeah. 20,000.
No.
22.
No.
That's
no.
I thought it came out already, but okay.
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna quit. I quit YouTube. I'm done.
No. Okay. It came out.
Came
out last time. No. Don't
That's
quit.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Unless John is coming.
Noah, I'm coming to California in 48 or 72 hours or something. You don't want to. I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, okay.
That's like I think you should leave. Pull the plug. I'll kill you. That's you right now. You better watch it. All right.
Jeez, I'm scared now.
Yeah, you should be. It's very dangerous. Oh no! By the way, I have bad news.
What?
Two Sundays ago, we were demonetized.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
We were we received, I don't know, wait, let me see if I can find out why we were now, okay, we did make $11.
Really? That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but unfortunately, I think one of us might have said a silly word, or I don't even know. I'm mad. I don't know why it's limited. Oh, I can request a review. And as it turns out, oh, you know what? I'm going to request a human review. I'm going to make somebody watch a 2-hour live stream just to determine whether it should be eligible to make 10 more cents. Here to comment is friend of the channel, John Prosser.
Hello.
Hey, John.
I just
Look
got
at
here,
that.
So I don't actually know what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were so, John, unfortunately, I
Hang
have bad
on,
news.
Guys, I'm setting a timer for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have to follow the rules, which we don't
we
do very
have to
well.
follow the rules. We don't do that very often,
Okay,
but we'll
it
try.
has begun.
All right, there we go. So, John, I have bad news. You might not want to be associated with us anymore because 2 weeks ago, our live stream got demonetized.
Yours did.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
That's
just that
interesting.
one episode.
Yeah.
We've done 79 episodes, but that one, YouTube was like, this one goes too far. That whole scene that we did about genocide was too far.
Oh,
Oh,
is that what did
jeez.
it?
Yeah, we did an extended piece talking about the effects of genocide
People genocide?
man.
as it relates to the iPhone 14 Pro.
So not
Of
people.
course.
Okay.
No, we didn't do anything, bro. Why are we getting? I mean, this one's gonna get demonetized, and that's fair enough.
For what
but
it's worth,
yeah.
and I think this is more upsetting than anything, I don't think Genius Bar has ever been demonetized.
how?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. But here we
Even
are.
the one that we
We-
were in, that recent
Even that
one.
one. Yep.
You were very creative with your edits, my friend.
Is
Yeah,
that was that
that's
what
true.
is that what saved us?
Oh, absolutely. If you
you-
had put that raw file up there, you would have had a DMCA takedown or something.
We would all
Oh,
have
yeah.
worse than that, and you know it. We wouldn't have careers.
Speak for yourself.
You
Noah
were
and I were
You were within
observers.
like 6 inches of me, and I would know. And it was.
I don't think you would,
no,
bro.
it was
The
very
vitamins
obvious that
were hitting you
supported
pretty
everything I
hard.
said.
Oh yeah. I think we would have gone down by association. Like we didn't do anything wrong, but we were there, and I feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, I think that was bad, you know.
Oh, and also everyone is for reference. It was just the one episode that was demonetized. It was not my whole channel. If it was my whole channel, I would be a little bit more bothered right now
Yeah.
because that would be, career-endingly terrible and utterly horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Are we getting the dub announcements this week?
Right, yeah, let's get back on topic. Thank you, John. For once in his goddamn
that's
life,
just-
he's keeping us on
I know.
track.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, everybody. And can I play
Wow.
a song?
Yeah, get an applause. Wow.
Okay, there you go. You're welcome.
Look at him
That's all I
go.
got.
Amazing.
That's good. Don't get us get a copyright strike on that audio there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is this the week? Are we getting the dub announcements? Y/N?
Why?
Why?
It's
Awesome.
It feels
Noah,
in
what do you
my
think?
balls. It feels like it. I would say yes. I can feel it.
Uh-huh.
My
your ball- are you
ancestors,
sure
my
that's-
evolution has led me to this moment. I feel it. Dub announcement this week.
That might be. You might want to get that checked out. Actually, it might be something else.
Yeah,
Tu-
I think that's prostate cancer, bro.
Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday, I would imagine, or Monday.
Hmm,
The event itself is
feel
going
like
to be
Tuesday.
on Monday, so we'll see.
this is true. What day of the week was it announced last year?
Oh, I don't know. What do I look like? A historian?
That's something you should know, Luke. I feel like you would know that.
Hey. Okay, I know what things come out at what events. I don't know when the events. I don't know what days of the week the events are announced. No,
Well,
I'm not. That
I guess
much
you're
of
an
a stinking
amateur.
nerd.
You gotta
Oh,
work on
God.
that.
Well, if only I could find the actual press release. Let me find it.
Well, I'm looking at a calendar, and I would
Okay.
imagine that it is on June 5th. So we should. I mean, it would make sense to get an announcement tomorrow.
Ooh, that's getting. Now I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Are we
Yeah.
ready for a dub announcement? In our
Actually, you know
personal
what?
lives?
I would prefer if they did it next week.
Yeah,
For
I think that would be
No
safer.
reason.
I think
Yeah.
them doing it next week would just help us greatly in life.
It would. It would. I'm very
Hmm.
busy tomorrow. If they do it. Oh no. Unironically, though, I am taking my car in for my 20,000 mile service tomorrow.
Oh, how fun!
So that's potentially not good in terms of me making a video tomorrow if they announce it.
You
Yeah,
have to leave your car there
Oh
to
God,
go make a video. Make it there. Bring your
No,
camera
I-
there.
I'll just
Make a
make
car
it.
channel video. Make a car channel video while you're there.
I can be in the car while it's on the lift, and they're like
Yeah.
unbolting stuff and like draining the oil, and I'm just in it like, all right, here's what we're expecting at WWDC. Speaking of which, what we might be expecting at WWDC could include anything from a new Mac Pro, the M3 chip, a 15-inch MacBook Air, or VR headset. Like, holy, what is this going to be like the biggest WWDC ever?
no.
So what do you think is actually going to be at it though?
Okay, so what I'm starting to wonder is, do we get a Mac Pro at Dub at all?
I'm leaning towards no.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because when we were on the last podcast together, when you were a guest on Genius Bar, when that was, when we were on the rails and on the tracks and everything was fine.
Nothing went wrong.
Yeah, we talked about Mac Pro, and I feel like,
We tried to.
yeah, with no physical change, like no redesign, nothing like that. This feels like just a kind of press release sort of thing. Because we're going to take a lot of time talking about that headset.
I cannot fathom for 1 second that they would press release a Mac Pro. There's just no way.
Are you saying that they would?
Go ahead.
Are you saying they would take the current design of the Mac Pro and just stick Apple Silicon in it and release it as a press
Yes.
release? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why though? That'd be crazy.
Why
That would
not?
be-
We have to talk about iOS, macOS. We got to talk about everything, and then a whole other product category.
So then they don't talk about it at Dub, but they can't do that. They can't use the same design and just stick Apple Silicon in it.
They've never done that before, so there's no history of that. Definitely nothing that they usually do. So I'd be caught off guard.
Gurman's
Yeah.
though. Gurman has been saying for a while, he's like they're taking the same design but Apple Silicon inside it, and I
Really?
refuse to accept that it does not make bro.
Uh-oh, he's getting close.
Oh no.
What's gonna be in there? How would they fill that amount of space? That's
And-
what I don't get.
I thought we discussed this. A little tiny orphan.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
we did
from
discuss
person.
that.
there would have to just be a little guy in there who like
Yeah.
maybe it can be like a little gremlin that would make
You could fit
coffee
me
or
because I'm
something.
short and wide.
Yeah, it's like you're like
it's
a little
probably-
cube man, so you could probably
It's
go
made
in
for
there.
me.
Wow, you get your own John Prosser apartment, and whenever you come and visit, you can just go in there.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't
Wow.
cost as much.
It probably more than my rent for a year.
Yeah,
but like seriously, think about it.
how it's gonna I agree with you, it's gonna be tiny. Like the actual hardware inside of that big chassis is gonna be tiny.
Mhm.
And then there's still the question of like the modularity aspect and like upgradability. Like we still don't understand how that's gonna work, and that's something
I
that
don't
Apple
think it
needs
will.
to explain. But they can't just do a Mac
can
Pro
and they
that's just the
will.
Mac Studio. But it's
Yeah.
just the Mac Studio. It's just a more
Yeah.
powerful Mac Studio. What's the point?
Well, when
What's
the
the
Mac Studio
point?
doesn't come back, that's the point.
Well,
See,
that's
the
stupid.
thing- This is out of control, Tim.
Mac Studio is just like a little one-off, like an iMac.
You can't
Pro
do
deal.
that. You can't just do that, okay? The Mac Studio is amazing. It's one of the best products that Apple has announced in years.
Agreed.
It's phenomenal because I'm looking at it right now. One of my favorite parts, no cap, is the SD card being on the front. Every other thing, they're like, oh, we're going to hide it so that you got to reach around and not be able to. No, it's right on the front. I just stick it right in there.
When
It's
it works, have you
small.
noticed that yours works like maybe 75% of the time?
The SD card,
The slot, yeah.
mine works all the time.
Not mine, and not Sam's.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very suspicious. Wait,
this
I
is
bought
a
this from
bad
you.
thing
Did you
for
try
me
to
to-
sabotage me?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did
no.
Luke like mess it up?
Wait. You bought the M1 Ultra one, right?
I mean, yeah, that's the one I bought from you.
Right. Well, I sold multiple because I'm one of those types
Oh,
of
I'm
weird
sorry.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
You know how it is. So the M1 Ultra, so I guess we all have. No, wait, yours is the 48 core, correct?
That I bought it from you. I don't know.
Yes,
Sounds
it is.
right, though.
Okay. I think.
Oh,
it
you
is.
knew that. Oh, look, there's my timer.
Uh-oh.
I must be on my merry way.
Uh-oh, John's
Anything you
got to
wanna
go.
say
Can we
before I
get a
leave?
parting thought? Do you think Okay, let's
Did
get
I
a
just leave very
percentage.
pertinent information to? Okay,
I don't think so.
I hope not. Okay,
I hope not either, but now people are going to go
that
looking
would
for it
be
now
our
that you
luck.
said that.
That would be our luck. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fun times.
as we were showing you out the door, my final question to you, John,
Yes.
percentage-wise, what do you think the chances are of respectively Mac Pro, M3 chip, and headset?
Didn't we just get the M2 chip?
At WWDC last year, full year ago.
No, we didn't get M2 like just a few months ago.
Nope, it was a year
Why
ago.
does it feel so recent?
Well, they brought it to the Mac Mini or whatever. Like they put it in new products recently, but they announced it.
Yes.
last.
I would
Dub Dub.
say, I'd say 90, 100% M3.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 40% Mac Pro, 100% VR headset, 100% iOS, 100% Mac OS, and hopefully a new Severance teaser. I need it.
Oh,
Ooh,
true.
Yeah.
That's all I want from the event. I'll be happy if I get, if I get the VR headset and a Severance teaser, best event ever.
Dude,
And that's
I
it.
can't
No
wait for Severance to
updates.
come
No
out.
iOS, Mac OS updates.
Wouldn't care.
Who cares?
No.
They spent all their time on the Severance trailer.
I would
Yeah.
not mind at all. Not even
The
a
whole
little
thing,
bit.
it could just be Tim going, "Good morning. Here's the new Severance trailer." And then they show it, and then it cuts back, and he goes, "Wow, what an amazing day." And that's it.
It'll be like that time where we were like, where somebody here on the panel said that a MacBook Pro was coming, and we all waited. And then there was like 5 minutes left at the event, and we're like, I don't know. And then he closes out, says, "Have a good day. No MacBook Pro." It was an unfortunate time because whoever,
Unfortunate.
whichever one of us, the three of us, said that a MacBook Pro was coming, and then it didn't come. A bunch of people had sold their MacBook Pros in prep for for the new one to be announced. So
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Why?
be careful what you say on the internet, folks.
Oof. And also be careful when you make rash purchase decisions based on leaks. I would just go ahead and caution that out there that no matter what the leak is, probably maybe don't sell your MacBook because
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
everybody else's fault. Stupid idiots.
That's what they get for listening to whoever said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Noah, when Noah told
Yeah,
you all,
Noah.
he sold your
Yeah,
MacBook.
oh, that was all me. Yeah, I'm
Come
so
on,
sorry about
man.
that.
Every wrong
What are you
leak I've
thinking?
ever had came from Noah. I hope you all know. I just want you to know. It just
That's
came
right.
from-
John's batting 1,000 here, and I'm just. It's
These
just.
these assholes have been setting me up for years. Noah's been giving me all these fake leaks. Luke tried to send me a Mac Studio that didn't have a working SD card reader, so here we
Mhm.
are.
Yep. John had a leak video ready to go last August, and it was like Dynamic Island is coming on the new iPhone, and Noah sent him. He sent him these fanciful renderings of an iPhone 4 throwback design.
Yeah,
and John was like,
Hey,
"This
I
is the
have my
biggest story.
sources.
I'm running
I
with
saw
this."
that thing.
yeah.
I have my
Uh-huh.
sources.
Now
Okay.
Noah and I can't even see each other in person, or else blood.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
The
they
violence
fight
between us.
violently.
Okay,
I
I'm
have
leaving now.
photographic evidence of them fighting. John's carrying Noah, about to smash him.
That's true.
That's true. That does
That's true.
exist.
The last time we were in person, I just remembered I started getting like Vietnam flashbacks where Noah's just showing me this iPhone 4 style new phone, and man, if only the audience knows. So here you go. Here's
Unbelievable.
the big reveal. I hope they get you for this, Noah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tim,
no.
Get
if
to
we hear
shaving.
knocking, You're
Oh,
very
no.
close to Apple Park, so it would only take them 10 minutes for the SWAT team to get there.
Wait, and you work for their competitor, so I'm pretty sure this was like espionage in the worst way.
Oh, geez. All right, this
Oh
is getting a
my
little
God.
a little too real
Oh
here.
my
I don't
God.
know about this.
Okay,
No,
I'm
this is
leaving.
real.
Goodbye, everybody. See you later.
Bye, John.
Bye, John. Oh,
I can't
God.
believe this. Noah, you were tasked by Google to infiltrate John, leak disparaging things that wouldn't come true to upset Apple and ruin their sales. I can't believe you would do this.
That is a fanciful story that I could obviously never confirm nor deny, though to be 100% clear, I am going to deny that.
Uh-huh. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, interesting notes there from John, who had no idea that it's been a year since the M2 chip came out. But he did say, what did he say, 100%?
90 to 100?
M3? 90 to
Yeah.
100? That's pretty high. Now, I personally think that we have let me break through my methodology for determining the authenticity of leaks, because I know that there are two main subset of people that I tend to see in comments and Twitter and whatnot, right? And you'll probably back me up on this, Noah. There are people that will see a leak, no matter how crazy, and go, if Apple does that, I'm going to be so mad. Or, oh man, I can't wait for that. That's 100% going to happen, and I'm so pumped. Right? That's the type one.
Mm-hmm.
Type two, no matter how credible it could be Tim Cook himself saying, hey, the iPhone 15 is going to have USB-C. And they're like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't trust the leaks, even if it's Tim Cook. They're all liars. They made it up. They're just lying for attention. That's the second type of person. Would that be a fair judgment of the two extremes?
I would say so, yeah.
But what I'm going to do is give you guys top 10 secret tricks Apple doesn't want you to know.
Whoa.
Yeah. So here's how you figure out if the leaks are true and when stuff is happening. I'm talking about corroboration, repetition, and proximity. Those are the big three. All right.
Those are your top 10 right there?
CRR.
Yeah.
Corroboration, repetition. Oh, wait, CRP. Corroboration, repetition, proximity. Okay? When you hear a leak and it says the next iPhone will have a water fountain built into it,
Oh, that sounds nice.
and it's coming from, Steve's Apple Leaks Forum.gov, and you're like, I don't know about all that. Then, in isolation, crazy rumor, fairly certain that that's not legitimate. Where it becomes legitimate is when you start seeing stuff like the 15-inch MacBook Air, right? That's a perfect example of CRP, my definitely not invented on the spot methodology, okay?
Uh-huh.
When you have CRP, what that means is we have an initial leak. In this case, that would have been from Ross Young. He said, hey, just so you know, 15.2-inch panels in development. Now, already you've got a credible source. So, in fact, we could probably make it CCRP. Credibility, corroboration, repetition, proximity. That's the thing. In fact,
That's your
wait,
top
look.
10.
I'm going to make a banner for this.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be so good.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Credibility, corroboration, repetition, proximity. All right? Those are the big four. So, 15-inch MacBook Air is my example. A credible leaker, Ross Young, said 15-inch MacBook Air is coming out. He said that a while ago. That was a year ago, and it was pretty out there. Then we got Ming-Chi Kuo, also credible, saying Apple has been working on this for a while, unsure when it's going to come. There's your first repetition. Fast forward to this year, we're hearing a lot about this 15-inch. And now it's not, the leaks aren't, there might be one. They've shifted now to when will there be one? And now they've shifted to then. That's when it's going to happen. And then you start getting details about it, right? That's a lot of corroboration because you've got multiple people saying the same thing. And look, it's not news if it already exists. So if someone came to me with information and they were like, hey, just so you know, there's going to be a yellow iPhone 14, I'd be like, okay, cool. Everyone knows that. But when you hear all of these things being published, that's because there are additional sources and additional confirmations. So we have credibility, we have corroboration, we have repetition, and now they're all getting closer together, which means that things are finalizing, right? As Apple is finalizing the launch for a product, there become a lot more ways that information can get out. When they're prototyping, very easy to keep things a secret because it's a very limited number that can be supervised and can be tracked. Apple rules with an iron fist, right? They're all about fear and punishment, not love and sunshine. So if they're working on something new, you better believe that they're at these factories and to their employees, they're like, hey, look, if you leak this, we're going to mess you up real good. All right. So don't do anything. Don't try any funny business. A lot easier to keep that a secret than in these later stages where all of a sudden you're sending samples to marketing. You're sending them to developers to start developing for. You're sending them to artists to render and filmmakers to film commercials. Or like, you know, when they show the demos of the new iPad and they have like some person who works at a TV studio who's like, this is how this is going to help your life. Like they got to send all of those out. They're being produced in large quantities. They're getting shipped from China to the US so they can be stocked in stores. There's a lot more people seeing these things, which means there's a lot more opportunity for it to get out there. That's your proximity. And when you combine all of these things, it's like a Ouija board for the Apple company, right? You're like, oh, I'm getting 15-inch MacBook Air in June. That's what we're looking at.
This is a fascinating system that you've devised here.
It works. I'm telling you.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
It does, and it works.
Someone was pointing out in the comments though that there may have been sometimes someone said the Apple Watch being flat, that leak from like a year or two ago.
Mm.
Did that follow your guidelines here?
No.
Oh, really?
Because
Why
I
not?
have a very reasonable explanation for why that happened the way it did. So, there is actual information that I've heard from people. And look at this. Oh, John is pointing out that Noah was a liar. He fed John the Apple Watch leak.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow, I had to do it
Figures
to
you would
him.
bring that up to throw me off because you knew that my method was going to expose you.
I'm covering my
Unbelievable.
tracks now. I'm like I'm on the back foot now. I'm on the defense here.
Yeah.
You've
You've been operating the Apple news cycle like a puppet, and now you're on the back foot.
This environment has become very hostile very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. As it should. But to answer your question, Noah, my method saw through your clever little trick. All right.
Uh-huh.
Because here's the explanation for that. The rumors were not wrong. That's right. I'm John Prosser's #1 advocate here. He was not wrong. Gurman was not wrong with the flat Apple Watch leak. But what happened was at the very last second, they were like, "Oh no, that's not gonna work. We can't. We can't do that." So in like August, they had to scrap it. The Series 7 was developed in like a month, probably. I mean, they always have like these backup plans, but like you'll notice that the display on this Apple Watch is beneath a thicker piece of glass, right? You're like, why would they do that? They developed this larger screen, but now it's under this massive display, and they tried to argue that like, oh no, it's stronger. No. That's the display that was going to be in the new design, but then the new design wasn't ready yet, so they put the new display in the old design. It doesn't even have it's the old chip too. They didn't change the chip. The only thing that was new on the Series 7 was that display, because they didn't have enough time to get the new design out there. That's what I fully believe. You'll also notice that it launched later. Like, I think this all happened in like July, August. They had like 2 months. They had to announce it while they were prototyping, so the watch was delayed by like a month or so, something like that. I think that's what happened.
I think that's a fair assumption, and that was actually something that I was going to bring up in the discussion before about the two extremes on the tech side. A lot of the people that don't trust the leaks, first of all, you obviously want to be skeptical when you see anything. You shouldn't just assume that everything is true. But there are a lot of times where the leaks are based on legitimate information, not just people making things up for attention or whatever, but they're based on legitimate information, and things just change. So maybe this is an example with the flat display, and there have been other examples where these things legitimately did exist. Apple has all kinds of prototypes and all kinds of things that they're trying and whatever. And so someone gets some information and it might actually be legitimate, but then Apple, changes their plans, and it, things change. Yeah. So some leaks don't pan out, but that doesn't mean that they were made up.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really, really good point. Cause I think a lot of people often like when the leaks turn out to not be true, the number one thing that people say is, oh, Apple tricked them. They fed them fake leaks. I don't think that happens as much as people think it does. What I believe happens is a combination of, to your point, Noah, leaks are only as good as the information that you get. And obviously with technology, like, things are going to be in a prototyping phase, right? So like, you might have one prototype. That doesn't mean that it's going to go to production. So that's already an uncertainty. Like, even if the leak is 100% accurate, that doesn't mean that that leaked piece of information is final. Those are very different. So like designs for an iPhone, I think there's a very good chance that in 3 more years, we see that iPhone design that John leaked. Like, maybe that's just a design prototype that's not even coming out in the near future. Like, just because that leak didn't happen at the time that John leaked it doesn't necessarily mean that it's fake. It's just not final. Another thing that I think people should keep in mind, potentially going back to the flat Apple Watch, is that the leaks are often behind the actual development cycle. Like, for example, there were a bunch of MacBook Pro leaks about, like, do you remember the Quanta data leak? Or it wasn't a leak, it was a hack.
Vaguely.
So they stole, it was a hacker group that stole a bunch of schematics from Quanta, which is one of the manufacturers, and they ransomed it and they released it to the public. And a lot of the stuff that they leaked ended up actually being the current generation MacBook Pro. But the schematics that they leaked were from like February of 2021. No, even earlier than that. They were like mid 2020 in some cases. So like sometimes the information coming out doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening right now. Like a prototype Apple Watch that could have been photographed and sent and like seen by leakers could have been manufactured months ago. It doesn't mean, it's not like, it gets manufactured and then someone takes it off, puts it in a box and sends it to John. Like there's a lot of things at play. So I don't know. All of this, I guess, is to say a lot of things can happen. That doesn't mean leakers or the tech news is lying to you, but that also means that you should never, ever take anything as absolute truth.
That is fair, but I will say, to be fair, that your great system here, it is great, as we all know.
Absolutely.
But as much as you can use it to determine if a leak is, legitimate or not, or if you think that the leak is legitimate or not, you can't use it to determine if the leak will actually materialize, right? Because
Right.
like with the flat Apple Watch and even the Series 8, you say the Series 7 was supposed to be flat and it wasn't, but the Series 8 wasn't flat either. Obviously the Ultra is, so maybe that leak, they were seeing like an Ultra very early on, or maybe Apple had planned to make the watches flat and then they did it just on the Ultra. We don't know. But, your system can tell. You can use it to gauge if a leak is credible or not, but not if the leak will actually materialize, if it will actually happen.
That's very true. Speaking of things materializing or might not actually happen, we did have the super chat from a while ago that I wanted to get to. Is there still going to be a big announcement from you four, being me, Noah, Sam, and John? I guess much like a leak, you'll have to wait until that's officially confirmed. I can't at this point comment on what that might be.
Well, but can we use your system to determine if it's a credible leak? I think we could do that.
I can't advocate for that, but I can't say that it wouldn't apply.
I think if you applied it back, look at what may or may not have been said in the past. Apply the rubric. This is like your homework, right? You learn about this method here, and then your homework, you can apply it and make your judgment call.
Interesting. I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
your leak is your method's not just for Apple leaks. It could even apply to other things too.
They're using my tool against me. Gosh dang darn it. Can't believe this.
Well, that's what happens.
Now, I did want to bring up this interesting comment here about the 15-inch MacBook Air. Ross Young said we would get that in April. macOS 13.3 apparently releases in April, and Gurman says the Mac Pro is running 13.3. So there's a good application of my rubric, huh, Noah? There's CCRP going in action right there.
That's amazing. This only just came out, and people are already. It's almost like it's common sense or something.
Hey, watch it. Although I have to say, I'm a little biased at this point because I'm lobbying against an April event, just because I'm gonna be in Italy in the whole like middle part, and I don't even know what I would do if there was an Apple event. Then what would we do? How would we stream the coverage of it? What time?
Yeah, that would be some weird time differences, and that would be. I hope it doesn't happen. That'd be an interesting experience. And this is the thing that I really wanted to talk about tonight, because we had discussed in the past about there being potentially an event an event before Dub, because we were talking about how there's so much stuff that we're expecting to come out at Dub that it would make sense for there to be an event before. And we discussed the potential of a March event. Obviously, that's not going to happen at this point because it's too late in the month for that to happen. But we had discussed about that happening because it had happened. There have been March events before. And so we discussed that. And so maybe an April event. I feel like it's getting a little bit close to Dub Dub, but maybe early April. Maybe that could work. And so that's an interesting discussion to have. Will we see anything before Dub Dub?
Now, I do have one other interesting proposition for you here, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not too late for there to be a March event still.
You're saying like they would announce it tomorrow or Tuesday
Tuesday. I mean, if you look at the... Okay, wait, hang on. List of all Apple events. Traditionally, in March, their media events do tend to be at the very end.
That is true. Okay,
So,
the one thing though is that have there been rumors? That's just the thing that's throwing me off. Have there been rumors about a March event?
So I would argue that the aforementioned Mac Pro, 15-inch MacBook Air, macOS 13.3, blah, 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 that I think is the evidence. However, there is counter evidence in the form of the yellow iPhone. If there was going to be an event, they probably would have put the iPhone in it. So perhaps the yellow iPhone discounts a March event completely, and even an April event.
Maybe people are mentioning that Apple Music Classical launches at the end of the month, so maybe
Very
that
true.
could fit into an event or not, like whichever way you want to take that.
I would argue they probably would have announced it at an event rather than launched it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
And see, this is another thing where people are talking about press releases. If the 15-inch comes with M2, they may just do a press release. I would argue at this point, the idea of a press release 15-inch MacBook Pro doesn't really track because, well, first of all, at this point, why would they be putting an M2 chip in anything else? Like it's 10 months, bro. That's too late. It's the ship has sailed. The M2 chip is old now. So I feel like that wouldn't really make sense. I think April is also an unusual time though. I think that's something that we have to consider. Like if we go back to 2015, all of the Apple events since 2015. All right. I'm going to go through them right now, every single one.
Okay.
So in 2015, we had March, June, September. Wow. 2015 was boring. That's all they did. So it was March 9th and then WWDC and then an iPhone event, right?
March 9th, so early March.
Yeah. But then the next year it was different. So the next year was March 21st.
Okay.
So in 2016 it was March and then June and then September and October. They did have that October event. Okay. 2017, holy cow, that was nothing. They only had WWDC and iPhone event, nothing else.
Oh man.
Yeah, no March, no October. 2018, March 27th, again late March.
Okay.
Then they had WWDC and then another iPhone September event and a special event in October. Okay. That seems to make sense. 2019, March 25th, they had an event. Another one for late March.
Okay.
And then WWDC in September. Noticing a trend here. Every year has WWDC into September.
It's crazy.
All right, 2020. No March. We had WWDC and then September, October, and November. That was a rare outlier year.
It was a big one.
That was a big one. 2021. No March, but there was that April event. That was a bit of a surprise. I think that was probably going to be a spring event, a March event at one point.
Yeah.
So that was April, and then once again, WWDC, September, and an October event. 2022, March 8th. So now we're back to early, and then WWDC in September. Interesting.
I don't know. Okay, it's not impossible for there to be a late March or early April event. It's not impossible. And there are some rumors, you mentioned like the 15-inch MacBook Air, that's been talked about a lot. And there are some other rumors. There could be an event. I just feel like, aren't there usually like leaks or rumors or discussions about the event itself? Like, the rumor is that Apple is going to be launching an event like right before the event like announces. Isn't there usually rumors? It's like Apple is rumored to announce an event this week, and then they do. Doesn't that usually happen? Or am I wrong?
Sometimes I feel like they do, or I feel like it's always a little bit more like Apple might be preparing. Like, we usually get these murmurs because they'll like brief some people that something is coming. Like with the MacBooks, there was like, we kind of got like hint, hint, nudge, nudge, something's coming. I guess that's probably true with some events. Another key takeaway here actually is that there's never more than 4
in a year for events.
There's only ever WWDC September, and then at most 2 additional. So usually there's like, if there's an additional one, it's either March, early spring, or fall. There's nothing in the middle. There's never anything between WWDC and September.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So that actually might add more credibility to an April event, because when we talk about all of these things, like, when would we possibly get, if not at WWDC, we still have to get through this Mac Pro, a 15-inch MacBook Air, and an M3 chip. Those are things that we are fairly confident, thanks to CCRP, are going to happen. It's just a question of when.
That is true. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying that there won't be a March or April event. I'm leaning, if you're leaning towards yes, then I'm leaning towards no, but I'm not saying that it's impossible. I feel like, maybe there could be a press release for some of these things. There might be, I don't know. I mean, I think Apple wants to keep moving and keep pushing out Mac products, but like there could be an October event, and maybe they announce the M3 at WWDC and it's like the basic, they put it in, the base model chips. And then there's an October event, and that's where we get like, well, maybe the 15-inch Air is at Dub, but like maybe there's like, it goes into more products in October, and there's another October event. I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard enough to think that there's really going to be an event announced tomorrow or Tuesday, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
I think it's very unlikely. Like, CCRP is telling me no. If I'm going to be honest here, if I'm going to follow CCRP, which by the way has to be used in conjunction with logic and reasoning. It's not good enough on its own to point you there. It gives you the tools, but you have to interpret them. So here's how I would make sense of all of this. Okay. WWDC is a predominantly software event. So we know we're getting iOS, watchOS, macOS, right? Those are the big 3. But Apple also likes to use WWDC for big new developments. And now we are apparently learning they also like to use it for Apple Silicon. 2020, that's when it was announced. 2021, they didn't. But 2022, we got an M2 chip. So it stands to reason that Apple might want WWDC to be their annual Mac chip update, in the same way that September is their annual iPhone update. I could very well see that being the goal. So let's say that WWDC this year, no spring event at all. All right, we'll start with that. WWDC this year starts off with software and revealing the M3 chip. I have reasonable confidence that the M3 chip is not going to come out in October, because we know that TSMC is manufacturing chips on this node, and we know that Apple is basically buying all of them. So I think, given that that has been underway since December, and Apple has had several months now to start buying up these wafers, I think that gives us just enough chips for Apple to, at June, announce the M3 chip and debut it in a refreshed MacBook Air with the new option for a 15-inch MacBook Air. Personally, CCRP is telling me there's no gosh darn way they release a 15-inch MacBook Air with the M2 chip. That's goofy. I don't think that's going to happen. If that does happen, I don't think it's going to happen because it doesn't make sense. There are leaks saying that it will, and if it does, then I will criticize Apple because that's dumb, and they shouldn't do that. But that being said, WWDC, iOS, macOS, watchOS, you get your M3 chip gets announced. They're debuting it in the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro if they decide to keep that for whatever reason. Maybe they'll put it in the 24-inch iMac. CCRP coming back here. There was a leak saying an M3 iMac is in late stages of development. Recall that. So there you go. Boom. CCRP, that's your first part of the event. No Mac Pro. And then we go straight into the new headset, because that's not going to launch yet. So this is the best of both worlds, right? We get an M3 chip that will launch probably at the end of June or even early July, like we had last year. And then after that, and then we have this teaser for the headset, which isn't going to come out until later anyway. So you get a launch now, and you get something to be excited about later. Mac Pro can come out with an M3 system in October. And there you go.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think, I think M3 is a pretty good bet, but especially not the Mac Pro, because we're expecting the M3, like the base chip, and we're expecting the higher tier chips to come later. Now, there's a chance, like if Apple has some new design for the Mac Pro, there's a chance that we might see a teaser of the design. Like that happened. What year was that? 2019 or something, that they did a little teaser at Dub, and then they did the actual thing in December, right?
Yeah, well, all of their the Mac Pro in 2013 and 2019, as well as the iMac Pro in 2017, all of those tier of products were revealed at WWDC and launched in December. So it's
Right.
possible that they could do that, but that would also, so the problem that I have with that possibility is if you do announce the M3 chip and the Mac Pro at the same time, then it also means that you probably have to announce the M3 Pro and the M3 Max, which doesn't really make sense to me, given that we just got the M2 Pro and the M2 Max.
Yeah, the only thing I could see is like if they have some new design and they just want to show off the design and say like this thing is coming, and they don't give any specifics about it. I don't know if Apple would even do that, but like I think that's the most that we would see as far as like the Mac Pro is concerned. But I definitely think we've been hearing so much about these MacBook Airs and the M3 chip. It would make so much sense for us to see the M3 chip, see it launch in the new MacBook Airs, including the 15-inch. That makes a lot of sense. Obviously, we're going to see the software updates. The rumors have been that those updates are not very exciting this year, that they're mostly just like, I guess, bug fixes and stability improvements rather than like new flagship features, which could lend well, if that part of the event is shorter, then there's more time left for something bigger like the headset. And we've discussed this before. It makes so much sense that they would announce the headset at Dub as opposed to some other kind of event. So I definitely could see them doing the headset. And I feel like that's pretty good, right? You got the chip. We're expecting the chip. It's a little early to call it a pattern, but like the other chips have been at Dub. So we'll say that there's a pattern. The chips, the software updates, the headset. That's a pretty big event, and it's like pretty logical as far as like what's there versus what would come, elsewhere.
That's a very good point. I think it's, gosh, there's really a lot of ways that you can slice it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about all of this. I'm just trying to make sense based on my gut feeling and what CCRP are telling me. It's really all about the method. Now, I think that's actually another thing that we should just mention really quickly is that interpretation is another big feature, or is another big thing that can affect the accuracy of leaks or the interpretation thereof. Sometimes you are given information that is accurate but is not the complete picture. Case in point, when I leaked some information about the 2021 MacBook Pros before they came out. I leaked the SD card slot having UHS 2 capability, which was correct, but I also leaked that 32 gigabytes of RAM would be the maximum, which was not complete because the information that I was given was limited to the M1 Pro. So this is how, like, because the way that leaked information is presented to leakers isn't, I think, the way that people think it is. And now I have very limited experience, right? I have only done a couple of leaks, but just from those, I can tell you that it's not cut and dry, right? You don't get a picture of an iPhone 15 that just says, labeled iPhone 15 and then shows what the features are. A lot of this is interpretation based. So when I leaked 32 gigabytes of RAM is the most that it'll take. What I didn't know was that I was leaking that the M1 Pro would be limited to 32 gigabytes, not the MacBook Pro, which is what I said. So
Right.
that's how a leak can be correct, but misinterpreted. And that can happen in many, many different ways. So there's a lot of different layers going on here. Whatever shakes out, CCRP is telling us that there's a lot coming soon. That much we can be sure of. But once you try to get too detailed, you're just reading tea leaves. That's all we can do.
That's a good point. You have to acknowledge and accept the shortcomings or the limitations in order to fully get, you don't want to go too far. You go too far with it and things don't work out and that's not good. But if you accept the limitations and you use it for what it's good for, then you do what you can.
Absolutely. But you know what we have to do? What we can?
What do we can?
We can end this episode of Dark Mode.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes, I have been your host, and my name is Luke Miani, and also next week we will be in person.
That's right, in person
so you won't want to miss
episode.
that. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That is going to be a lot of fun. So we will hopefully catch you guys all back here next weekend for an well, actually all back there at Noah's side.
Yes. And I have been your host, and my name is Noah Rubin.
Thank you for watching, and have a good night.